Being the son of an electrician, working with my dad from, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, being the helper and pulling wire and working around other tradesmen, I never really felt like there was an option for me to do anything other than be an electrician. I was just born to be an electrician. So my first stint of my apprenticeship is we wired production homes. A great experience because you got to see the bones of a home from the beginning to the finish with all the other trades and how yours integrates within that system and how it just all cohesively works. When I finished that portion of my apprenticeship, I worked for a company who did a lot of remodel, which means we did a lot of work in old homes rather than wiring them from scratch. So we were able to really see both sides on, wiring a home and then a home after it's been a home for 50 years or so and trying to update it. By doing so, I think it really creates a well-rounded electrician in the residential spectrum. I can't say I had a mission other than to make a living and support my family, and that's what I did with the trade that I was being taught to use. So after learning the skills necessary to be a journeyman electrician, I started Gubruds Services back in 1995. The mission then was still focused on feeding my family. It was still a job. At that time, I was still relatively a new electrician. So I did what I knew worked. Fast forward about 25 years of doing the same thing, custom homes, residential remodel, and some light commercial work, some shop mall stuff, some medical stuff, but mostly I would say majority of the time, 80% of it was usually residential, and a lot of that time it was in older homes. So I had become an expert at knowing what to look for in older homes. I found that my experience with all of the residential remodel for that 25 years as a electrical contractor, not to mention the 10 or so years prior to that, really prepared me for the home service industry. Before we made the decision to move into the different business model, I call it, because the home service industry is a different business model than what I was familiar with in the construction industry. A homeowner would hire a general contractor and we would perform any electrical needs that that client needed as a subcontractor for their general contractor. In the service industry, we contract directly with our clients. We educate our clients based off of their needs individually, based off of their age of their home, based off of comfort concerns and safety concerns. And all of these questions really were natural for the time frame that I had experienced in the residential remodel and custom home world. It really made me aware of the needs of a homeowner's electrical system of their home. So after so many years in the industry as a subcontractor, I recognized the needs of electrical system maintenance in a home, which wasn't at the top of the list of importance when we were a subcontracting working for general contractors. My job was to do what the contractor wanted me to do. My job wasn't to necessarily make sure that customer had everything they need and educate them on all the concerns or possibilities of the electrical system of their home. My job was to cater to the contractor. I would let the contractors know, hey, you might want to talk to your client about this and this because this looks like it's getting old and we should replace this. But it was his job. A lot of contractors are jack of all trades, but they're not a master at the specialty trades like we are. We're only electrical. That's our trade. We don't build houses. We don't plumb them. We don't run HVAC. We're electricians. That's all we do every day, day in and day out, which I believe makes us an expert. That's what we do every day. So we don't know a lot about every trade, but we're a master at the trade that we actually perform. If you need an electrician, hire an electrician. Hire somebody who has spent years of understanding their craft and knowing what is important for the safety of your home. I do believe electricity is the one trade that you really don't want to waver on when it comes down to qualifications. It is an element that can be very dangerous. It's silent, and if it can't be smelled, seen, or touched, and by the time you do smell it or see it, it's probably going to be a little scary. But when it comes down to the heart of your home's electrical system, you really should regularly have an electrician. And I say regularly, once a year, have somebody come by and just perform a safety check. Make sure your home system is grounded properly. Make sure your heavily used appliances and devices are checked for normal wear and tear, and should they be replaced. If they're worn out, having somebody you could call to for those questions in your home. That leads me into the mission that we currently stand for. So currently, Gubruds Services' mission now is really to educate homeowners. When we send an expert to a home, We train them every week to every other week on what do we need to talk to our clients about? What are they talking about when we go to our clients' homes? What do we hear from them? What concerns do they have? What's typically not working? What's failing? And what's happening when things are failing? We pay close attention to that so we can educate our clients at every level. So if you're a homeowner and if you call us and we show up and your plug's not working, we're going to do a few things that not a lot of electricians are going to do. We're going to do a safety check on your major devices. We're going to do a panel safety check to make sure your panel looks healthy. We're going to have some conversation regarding why we're making certain recommendations. And really all we're doing is educating you. So at the end of the day, when we find a solution for your problem, we're going to give you 3 or 4 different options of how you can approach it and why we recommend those options, and give you enough education so you can make a decision, the best decision for you and your family.